Guys who got ghosted, what happened when you found better and she noticed? Story 1. I got ghosted after 6 months of, we're basically dating. One Thursday, she texted, busy weekend, talk Monday. Monday came, then silence. I did the classic spiral. Double text, call, stare at the typing bubble that never showed up. 2 weeks later, I deleted the chat, unfollowed, and made a rule. No more begging for basic respect. I threw myself into the gym and started saying yes to stuff I used to dodge. Friends' birthdays, random hikes, even a salsa class I joined purely for the memes. That's where I met Nora. She was blunt, funny, and so consistent it felt suspicious at first. If she said she'd call at 8, my phone rang at 8:01 with an apology. 2 months in, Nora posted a story of us at a street food festival. Me holding her lemonade, her stealing a bite from my plate. I didn't even think about who might see it. Then, at 1:17 a.m., my screen lit up with a name I hadn't seen in months. Hey stranger, LOL. Wow, you disappeared? I stared at it like it was a prank. She'd ghosted me, and now I was the one who disappeared. I answered once, calm. You stopped replying. I moved on. She sent a paragraph about being overwhelmed, about how she didn't mean it, about how she always liked me a lot. Then the line that made my stomach flip. I didn't think you'd actually replace me. Replace. Like I'd been waiting on a shelf. The next day, Nora and I were grabbing coffee when my phone buzzed again. Can we talk in person? I miss you. Nora didn't ask to see it. She just said, whoever that is, they sound late. I sent one final message. I'm not available. Wish you well. Then I blocked her. No speech, no fight, no closure scene for her to star in. Just a locked door. A week later, a mutual friend told me she'd been telling people I changed and got cold. Yeah, I changed. I stopped auditioning for someone who wouldn't even show up. Story 2. She ghosted me right after asking for my hoodie back. We'd gone on 4 dates. Good ones. Laughing until the restaurant closed. Holding hands like it was natural. Planning next time as if it was guaranteed. Then one day she watched my story, liked a photo, and ignored every message. No fight. No explanation. Just evaporated. I didn't chase. I did one check-in. All good? And when that hung there for 48 hours, I took the hint. I put her name in the mental folder labeled People Who Don't Communicate. A month later, I started dating Mia. She was the opposite of mystery. Straightforward, a little nerdy, and annoyingly sweet. The kind of girl who brings you soup when you're sick and calls it basic human decency. One night, Mia and I went to a small concert. Nothing fancy, just a local band. I posted a picture of our hands with the stage lights in the background. 10 minutes later, I got a follow request from my ex, after weeks of silence. Then a DM. Oh, so that was fast. Fast? She ghosted me into the witness protection program. I didn't reply. I went back to the music, but she didn't stop. Next day, I guess I wasn't enough for you. Then, I've been going through a lot. You could have checked on me. Then the best one. Do you even care about what we had? I finally responded. We had 4 dates and then you vanished. Please don't rewrite that. She called me petty. Said I was doing it for attention. Then she started liking every single post of mine like she was trying to haunt the algorithm. Mia noticed and just laughed. Is she trying to summon you through the Explore page? Here's the part that actually got to me. She didn't miss me. She missed the version of herself that felt wanted without doing any work. Seeing me happy made her feel like she'd made a bad trade. So I did the kindest thing for both of us. I removed her as a follower, blocked her, and took Mia to breakfast. No drama. No comeback. Just a quiet refusal to be recycled. Story 3. The ghosting happened in the most embarrassing way possible. Mid-plan. We'd been talking for weeks. She was the one who suggested dinner, picked the place, even sent me the menu like it was a mission brief. Day of, I texted, still on for 7? No answer. At 6:30, nothing. At 7:05, I was standing outside the restaurant looking like a guy who got stood up in a movie. I went home furious, mostly at myself. I blocked her number for a day, unblocked it like an idiot, and then blocked it again permanently when I realized I was negotiating with my own dignity. I focused on what I could control. I started running in the mornings, got a better haircut, and stopped treating dating like an exam I could pass if I said the right thing. I met Elise through a friend's board game night. She beat me at Catan with a smile that said she'd do it again. Months later, I took Elise to the exact restaurant I'd been stood up at. Not as a revenge move, just because the food was actually good, and I refused to let a bad memory claim good noodles. We were waiting for our table when I heard my name behind me. It was her, the ghost, standing there with a shocked expression like she'd seen a glitch in the universe. Wow, she said, looking Elise up and down. So you're dating? I held my face neutral. Yeah, she laughed, fake, sharp. Guess you didn't waste time. Elise didn't flinch. She just extended her hand. Hi, I'm Elise. Polite, deadly calm. My ex didn't shake it. She looked at me and said, "Can we talk? Like, alone?" The audacity was almost impressive. I said, "No." Not angry, not loud, just factual. Her eyes narrowed. Seriously? After everything? I almost asked what everything meant, because in my memory, everything was her disappearing and me eating cereal in silence. But I realized she wanted a scene. She wanted me to prove she mattered. So I gave her the opposite. "Elise," I said, "our table's ready." As we walked away, my ex called out, "You changed." Elise leaned toward me and whispered, "If changed means no longer available for nonsense, then good." We sat down, ordered, and I felt something I didn't expect. Relief. Not victory. Relief. Like I'd finally closed a tab that had been draining my battery in the background. Story 4. She ghosted me the moment I stopped being useful. We met at work events. Different departments, same building. She was always around when she needed something. Advice on a presentation, help with her laptop, a ride because her car was acting weird. She'd flirt just enough to keep me hopeful, then disappear the second the favor was done. One day I asked her out directly. She smiled and said, "Maybe," then, predictably, nothing. The old me would have waited for the maybe to turn into a yes. Instead, I stepped back. I stopped answering immediately. I stopped volunteering. I got busy with my own life. That's when I met Kayla at a coworker's housewarming. Kayla didn't do maybe. She did clear. If she liked you, you knew. If she didn't, you also knew. And you didn't have to decode it like a riddle. Kayla and I went official pretty fast. It wasn't impulsive, it was just easy. And when it's easy, you stop craving chaos like it's chemistry. A few weeks later, my ghoster messaged me on Teams. "Hey, are you free to help me with something real quick?" I replied, "I'm in the middle of something." "What do you need?" She said. "Never mind. Thought you'd be nicer. Because I didn't jump." Then she saw Kayla and me in the lobby one morning. Kayla laughing, me holding 2 coffees. My ghoster's face tightened like she'd bitten a lemon. That same day, she texted my phone, my actual phone, like she'd remembered it existed. "So, you're dating her? Then, I always thought you and I had something." I stared at that line for a full minute. We had something, all right? A pattern. Her taking, me hoping. I wrote back, "We didn't have something. You had access." She replied instantly, "Wow, you're rude now." I said, "No, I'm unavailable." 2 days later, she tried the guilt route. I was going through stuff. Then the jealousy route. She's not even that pretty. Then the panic route. "Can we talk after work?" Like it was an urgent meeting she'd scheduled months too late. I didn't argue. I didn't defend Kayla. I just blocked her and went back to my life. The funniest part? A coworker later told me she'd been asking around if Kayla and I were serious. Yeah, serious enough that I don't answer maybe people anymore. Story 5. My ghosting story starts with a screenshot. We'd been talking every day. Long messages, voice notes, inside jokes. She called me her safe place. I started believing it, which was my first mistake. Then one night, mid-conversation, she stopped replying. Next morning, nothing. Next day, nothing. But she was still posting like normal. New selfies, new captions. Living her best life while my messages sat there like unpaid bills. I didn't confront her. I didn't send the "did I do something" text. I just walked away and forced myself to accept the message in the silence. A couple months later, my friend dragged me to a charity event. I went in thinking I'd leave early. Instead, I met Tessa. Warm, confident, and not addicted to disappearing acts. We clicked fast. The kind of click that makes you stop checking your phone because you're actually present. I posted Tessa once. A simple picture of us dressed up, her head on my shoulder. No dramatic caption. Just a heart. My phone exploded. First, a follow request from the ghost. Then a DM. LOL. You moved on fast. I didn't reply. Then she sent the screenshot of my old message thread with her. The one where I'd written, "I'm really starting to like you." She circled it in red like it was evidence. "So this was fake?" she wrote. That's when I realized she wasn't hurt. She was offended that I wasn't still waiting in the place she left me. I finally responded, "You disappeared." I respected it. She hit back with, "I needed space. You didn't fight for me." Fight for her. Against what? Her own decision to vanish. I looked over at Tessa, who was sitting beside me, humming while she cooked pasta at my place like she belonged there. And I understood something that would have saved me months earlier. Healthy love doesn't require detective work. So I answered one last time. If you wanted me, you would have been here. Take care. She sent 3 more messages in a row. Anger, sadness, then a, "Can we just talk?" like she was speed-running the stages of regret. I blocked her mid-typing. Later that night, Tessa asked, "Everything okay?" I said, "Yeah, just closing an old door." And for the first time in a long time, that wasn't a metaphor. It was real. Story 6. She ghosted me after she was the one who set the date. "Friday for sure," she texted. "Friday morning?" I asked. "What time?" Read. Silence. An hour later, read again. I still went, because I didn't want to be the guy who cancels on a maybe. I sat at the bar staring at 2 untouched waters like an extra in someone else's show. I didn't blow up her phone. I didn't post sad quotes. I just removed her from my socials, archived the chat, and promised myself I'd never chase someone who treated basic communication like a privilege. A month later, my friend dragged me to a volunteer project. That's where I met Anna. Calm, funny, consistent in a way that felt almost unreal at first. If she said she'd call, she called. If she couldn't, she said so. No mystery, no games. One day, Anna posted a story of us painting a community center wall. Both of us covered in paint, laughing like idiots. I didn't think twice. At 12:43 a.m., my phone buzzed. Her name. The ghost. "Wow, you already replaced me? I thought you were different." I just stared. She had disappeared for weeks, and now she was offended that I wasn't still waiting in the exact spot she left me. I replied once. "You stopped replying." I moved on. She came back immediately. "I was going through a lot." "You were supposed to fight for me." "Fight for what? For the right to be ignored?" The next day, "Can we meet?" "I miss you." I didn't answer. I blocked her. Not out of anger, out of clarity. A mutual friend later told me she was telling people I changed and got cold. Yeah, I changed. I stopped being available for silence. Story 7. I got ghosted the moment I stopped being useful. We met through mutual friends. She was sweet, flirty, always so into me, until she needed something. A recommendation, a hookup for a job interview, a favor that came wrapped in a smile. Then I finally asked her out properly. She said, "Maybe," with a bunch of heart emojis. After that, nothing. No reply. Not even a can't. At first I felt stupid. Then I realized the pattern. I wasn't a person to her. I was a resource. So I put my energy into something real. I started building a small online store for designs I'd been sitting on for years. Late nights, learning ads, packing orders. And in the middle of all that, my childhood friend Lisa came over to help for 10 minutes and ended up staying the whole night, folding boxes and roasting my terrible tape technique. Lisa was easy in the best way. She didn't measure people by what they could do for her. She asked if I'd eaten, if I was sleeping, if I was okay. Like those things mattered. We started dating without a big announcement. It just happened. When the store finally took off, I posted a photo of me and Lisa surrounded by shipping boxes, tired and smiling. That same day, the ghost reappeared. "Hey, wow, you're doing so good. Congrats. Want to grab coffee?" I replied. "Why?" She said, "Because we had something." I wrote, "You vanished the second you got what you wanted." Then came the classic pivot. "I just don't like getting attached. But with you, it was different." And the final swing, "Your new girl is using you. You'll see." I showed Lisa. She laughed once and said, "She's not worried about me. She's worried she lost access." That line was so accurate I didn't even bother responding. I deleted the chat and went back to packing orders. The best revenge wasn't flexing. It was being too busy living to be pulled back into someone's game. Story 8. She ghosted me right after I said no to the smallest request. We'd been texting for weeks. Flirty, late-night talks, planning a first date. Then she hit me with, "My card isn't working. Can you send money for an Uber?" I didn't accuse her. I didn't shame her. I just said, "I'll order the Uber for you. Send your address." Instantly. Never mind. Then silence. Total disappearance. That's when I realized it wasn't about the Uber. It was a test. And the moment I didn't pass the do whatever I say exam, I became invisible. I moved on fast. Not because I didn't care, but because the lesson was clear. I joined an English conversation class I'd been putting off. That's where I met Marta. Sharp sense of humor, confident, and refreshingly direct. She teased me about my pronunciation, then helped me practice after class. The chemistry was real, not manufactured. A couple months later, Marta posted a selfie of us after class. Me holding her notes, her laughing mid-sentence. Harmless. Normal. And then my phone lit up with a message request from the ghost. "LOL, so you're dating already?" I replied. "Yes," she said. "I didn't think you'd move on that quick." That sentence annoyed me more than anything. Like I was supposed to stay paused because she hit the mute button. She tried to backpedal. I was just stressed. "You could have been more supportive." I answered, Supportive requires communication. You chose silence. She sent one last message. If you really liked me, you'd have tried harder. I blocked her. Because I finally understood. People who ghost don't want effort. They want control. And the moment you stop being controllable, they call it cold. Story 9. She didn't ghost me quietly. She did it loudly, then pretended it never happened. We'd been talking every day. She'd call me on lunch breaks, send voice notes at night, talk about when we finally meet. Then one day, I saw her post a photo with another guy, his arm around her, captioned like they'd been together forever. I didn't confront her. I didn't play detective. I just unfollowed and moved on. A while later, I met Jasmine through a friend's birthday dinner. She wasn't trying to be impressive. She was just solid, kind, present. The kind of woman who looks you in the eye when you speak. We started dating, and for the first time in a long time, I felt calm instead of anxious. Then I posted Jasmine on my story. Us cooking, flour everywhere, laughing. 10 minutes later, OMG hi. Long time. Are you seriously with someone? I didn't answer. She doubled down. I always wondered what we could have been. Then, you didn't even fight for me. I finally replied, you posted another guy while we were talking. That was your answer. She sent, that wasn't serious. You're so dramatic. Dramatic. For reading her actions. Then she tried to poke at Jasmine. She seems basic. I replied once, basic is better than dishonest. After that, she started reacting to everything I posted like she was trying to haunt my notifications. It wasn't love. It was ego. Seeing me happy made her feel like she miscalculated. So I blocked her everywhere. And the weird part? I didn't feel angry. I felt free. Like I'd finally stopped arguing with someone who wasn't even in the conversation. Story 10. I got ghosted after I did everything right, which messed with my head the most. I didn't rush. I didn't come on too strong. I matched her energy, asked thoughtful questions, made plans, showed up. She'd say things like, you're honestly husband material. Then disappear for 2 days and come back like nothing happened. Eventually, she vanished completely. No fight. No closure. Just gone. I let myself be sad for a week. Then I made a rule. If someone can leave without a word, they can stay gone. I started going out more. Networking events, gym, weekend trips. On a hiking trip with friends, I met Chloe. She was the type who made you feel included instead of evaluated. We talked the whole trail, ended up grabbing dinner after, and it felt so natural it almost scared me. A month later, Chloe and I were officially together. I posted one photo, nothing flashy, just us smiling with wind-blown hair. That night, my ghost returned like a pop-up ad. Hey, wow, didn't expect that. I replied, yeah, life moves. She said, I didn't ghost you. I just needed space, I answered. Space comes with communication. Then she hit me with the real reason. I didn't think you'd find someone better. There it was. The honesty slipped out. She tried to set up a meetup, tried to nostalgia bomb me with old jokes, tried to act like we were just paused and could press play again. But Chloe was right there in my real life. Showing up, being consistent, not making me earn scraps of attention. So I ended it clean. I'm happy. Please don't contact me again. And for the first time, I didn't feel like I was losing someone. I felt like I was choosing myself. Story 11. She ghosted me after a perfect first date. Like the kind of date where the waiter jokes we're the easiest table tonight because we're laughing so much. She hugged me outside, looked me dead in the eye and said, text me when you get home. I did. She liked the message. Then she vanished. For 2 days, I told myself she was busy. On day 3, I checked her profile and saw she'd posted a brunch photo with the caption, weekend reset. So she wasn't in a coma. She just decided I didn't deserve words. I didn't chase. I unfollowed, archived the chat, and got on with my life. A month later, I went to a friend's game night and met Kira. She was the kind of woman who didn't flirt like she was testing a product. She was just genuine. We started dating slowly. No love bombing, no mystery, just steady. Then Kira tagged me in a picture at a little bookstore cafe. Me holding 2 cappuccinos, her leaning into my shoulder. 5 minutes later, my phone buzzed with a message request from the ghost. Wow, that didn't take long. I stared at it. The audacity was almost art. I replied, you disappeared. What did you expect? She sent, I didn't disappear. I was just seeing what else was out there. Then, but I didn't think you'd actually move on. So I typed one sentence that felt like closing a file. I'm not a backup plan. Then I blocked her. Later, my friend told me she'd been asking, is he really happy with her? Like happiness was something she had a right to audit. The funny part? I didn't feel proud. I felt relieved. Because being chosen by someone who can't communicate is not a prize. It's a trap. Story 12. I got ghosted in the middle of a conversation about my dad being sick. That's what still blows my mind. She'd been texting me nonstop for weeks. Good morning texts, long calls. I've never felt this understood. Then one night I told her my dad was going into surgery. She replied, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." I said I was scared. And then nothing. No reply. No check-in. Not even a, "How did it go?" At first I thought maybe she panicked. Then I realized, people show you who they are when it's inconvenient to be kind. I didn't send a dramatic message. I didn't ask why. I just deleted the thread and focused on my family. After things stabilized, I started going to a small boxing gym to clear my head. That's where I met Naomi. She wasn't soft-spoken, but she was solid. She didn't talk about being supportive. She just was. She'd toss me a water, ask how my day was, and actually listen. A couple months in, Naomi posted a short clip of me hitting the bag, then panned to herself grinning, caption, "Proud of him." That's when my ghost returned. "Hey, I've been thinking about you," I replied. "Why now?" She wrote, "I saw you're doing better. I'm glad." I waited, then typed, "You left when I needed basic empathy." She immediately tried to rewrite history. I didn't know what to say. I answered, "Anything would have been better than silence." Then she hit me with, "So you replaced me with a gym girl?" Like Naomi was a downgrade because she didn't disappear. I blocked her without another word. Naomi didn't need me to win an argument. She needed me to protect what we were building. And that was the moment I stopped explaining my boundaries to people who only notice them when they lose access. Story 13. She ghosted me, then tried to unghost herself like it was a software update. We were talking for a month. She'd send selfies, ask deep questions, call me dangerously charming. The night before our planned date, she said, "I'm excited. Don't flake." I laughed and promised I wouldn't. Next day, I texted to confirm. Nothing. I called once, straight to voicemail. She posted a mirror selfie an hour later with the caption, "Protecting my peace." That was the last straw. Protecting your peace by making me look stupid? Cute. I moved on. I started dating Brooke, a friend of a friend I met at a small rooftop party. Brooke was clear and calm. No tests, no disappearing. If she was upset, she said it. If she was busy, she told me. It felt almost boring. And that's when I realized boring is what healthy looks like. One night, Brooke and I went to a new restaurant. The hostess took a photo for us and Brooke posted it. At midnight, the ghost popped back up. You're with her? I know her." I didn't answer. She sent another. "She's not who you think." Then another. "Call me. It's important." That got my attention, so I replied, "If you have something real, say it." She responded with, "Nothing real. Just jealousy wrapped in fake concern. I'm warning you because I care." "I always cared." I wrote. "You cared so much you vanished." She hit me with, "I was testing you." I replied, "Congrats. You failed your own test." Blocked. Because anyone who tests you by disrespecting you isn't looking for love. They're looking for leverage. Story Chitrapatsmit. I got ghosted by someone who kept watching my stories like a security camera. We'd had 2 dates. Chemistry, kisses. "I can't wait to see you again." Then she stopped responding. But she never stopped viewing everything I posted. Every morning, my story, watched. Every night, watched. Like she wanted a front row seat to my life without doing the work of being in it. At first, it messed with my head. I kept thinking, if she's watching, she must still care. But watching isn't caring. It's lurking. I stopped posting for her and started posting for me. I joined a running club, got in shape, and met Danny there. Danny was funny in a blunt way. On our first coffee, she said, "I hate guessing games. If I like you, you'll know." That sentence alone felt like therapy. A few months later, Danny and I went on a weekend trip. I posted one picture. Her smiling at the edge of a lake, me in the reflection. Within minutes, my ghost finally broke her silence. "So you're dating now?" I replied. "Yeah," she said. "I didn't think you were that type." "What type?" I asked. "The type to move on," she wrote. Like loyalty meant waiting while she ignored me. Then she went for the guilt. I was overwhelmed. "I needed space," I answered. "Space isn't ghosting. Space is communicating." She didn't respond. She just kept watching my stories. So I did the most peaceful thing I could. I blocked her from viewing them. Not to punish her. To stop her from renting space in my head for free. Story 15. She ghosted me right after she met my friends. That's what made it sting. I brought her to a casual get-together. She charmed everyone, laughed at my friends' dumb jokes, held my hand like we were already official. My best friend even said, "She's a keeper." 2 days later, she stopped responding. No explanation, just silence. I felt embarrassed, like I'd sold my friends a story that wasn't real. For a week, I didn't date anyone. I just worked, hit the gym, and tried to shake off that I got played feeling. Then, at a work conference, I met Sophia. She was sharp, calm, and not impressed by surface-level charm. We started talking over coffee breaks, then dinners after sessions. With her, I didn't feel like I was performing. I felt like I was being understood. When we became official, I posted one photo of us dressed up at an event. Nothing dramatic, just us smiling. That night, a DM from the ghost. "I can't believe you moved on." "Wow," I replied. "You left," she answered. "I didn't leave. I just needed time," I wrote. "Time doesn't look like ignoring someone after meeting their friends." Then she tried to flip it. "You're doing this to hurt me." That's when I realized she thought she was the main character, and I was the supporting role who waits off screen. So I ended it clean. "This conversation is the most effort you've given me in months. Goodbye." I blocked her, put my phone down, and went back to Sophia, who was laughing at something I said, fully present, fully real. And in that moment, I understood the difference between being wanted and being kept as an option. Story 16. She ghosted me after asking me to be patient. We'd been talking for a month, FaceTiming at night, making plans like they were real. Then she got weirdly distant and finally wrote, "I'm overwhelmed. Don't take it personal. Just be patient with me." So I did. I gave her space. I didn't spam her. I checked in once a week, short, respectful. Every message got a red receipt and no reply. Meanwhile, she was posting rooftop photos, brunch captions, soft life quotes. She wasn't overwhelmed. She was just not choosing me. I stopped. No speech, no breakup text. I just stepped out of the role. A couple weeks later, I met Leah at a friend's birthday. We ended up talking on the balcony about dumb stuff. Music, travel, how exhausting dating feels when everyone's playing chess. Leah said, "If someone confuses you, that's the answer." It hit hard because it was true. Leah was consistent. Not intense, not clingy, just honest. When she couldn't hang out, she said so. When she wanted to, she made it happen. It felt safe. One night, Leah posted a photo of us at a tiny taco spot. My arm around her, both of us laughing mid-bite. 10 minutes later, my phone buzzed. The ghost. "Wow. Okay. So I guess you didn't care that much," I replied. "You didn't respond for weeks," she shot back. "I told you I was overwhelmed," I wrote. "You asked for patience. You didn't offer communication." Then she finally said the quiet part out loud. "I didn't think you'd find someone that fast." There it was. She didn't miss me. She missed the comfort of knowing I was still waiting. I blocked her and put my phone down. Leah looked at me and asked, "Everything all right?" I said, "Yeah. Just closing something that never really opened." And for once, that was the truth. Story 17. I got ghosted by a girl who used to call me her favorite person. We talked every day. She'd send voice notes, memes, good morning texts. Then one day she asked me to help her move. I showed up, carried boxes, even bought pizza for her friends. She hugged me and said, "I don't know what I'd do without you." 2 days later, nothing. My texts didn't get delivered. I realized she'd blocked me. Blocked. After I moved her couch. I felt stupid. Not just heartbroken, used. I didn't even get an argument. I got erased like a service I'd canceled. I decided if I was going to be someone's favorite, it would be because they valued me. Not because I could lift furniture. I threw myself into my own routine. Gym, work, and joining a weekend photography group. That's where I met Priya. She was sharp and funny, and she didn't perform kindness. She lived it. She asked questions and listened like my answers mattered. We started dating, and it was the first time I didn't feel like I had to earn affection with favors. Priya posted one picture from a photo walk, me adjusting her camera strap, both of us smiling. Within an hour, I got a DM from a random account with no profile photo. "Wow, so you moved on. Must be nice." I knew it was her immediately. Same style, same passive-aggressive tone. I replied, "Why did you block me?" She answered, "I needed to detach." "You were getting too attached." I laughed out loud. She had me carrying her couch and I was the one too attached? Then she wrote, "I didn't think you'd actually get over me." That sentence did more damage than her blocking. It exposed the whole game. She wanted the benefits of me without the responsibility of being decent. I blocked the burner account and went back to Priya. Because the only thing worse than being ghosted is letting the ghost back in. Story 18. She ghosted me after telling me I was husband material. We'd been on 3 dates, and she kept dropping those heavy compliments like they were harmless. "You're such a good man. I don't find guys like you. My mom would love you." I started believing it. Then she stopped replying overnight. No explanation. "No, I'm not feeling it." Just silence. A week later, I saw her at a bar with someone else. She looked right at me, smiled, and turned away like I was a stranger. That's when I stopped romanticizing her and started respecting myself. I met Aaron a month later through a coworker's dinner. Erin was confident but not cruel. She didn't love bomb. She didn't play hot and cold. She just showed up, which is apparently rare now. We started dating and it felt adult, peaceful, like my nervous system could finally unclench. Then Erin posted a picture of us at a wedding. Me in a suit, her laughing, my hand on her waist. The same night, my ghost texted me out of nowhere. "Hey, you look good. Didn't think you'd settle down," I replied. "You disappeared." She wrote, "I didn't disappear. I just didn't want to hurt you." I stared at that line. Ghosting is literally hurting someone without having to hear about it. Then she hit me with, "Honestly, I thought you'd wait. You seemed like that type." That was the moment everything clicked. She didn't respect me. She categorized me. Reliable. Safe. The guy you can ignore and still keep as an option. I sent one message. "I'm not that type." Then blocked her. At the end of the night, Erin asked, "You okay?" I nodded and said, "Yeah. I just learned the difference between a compliment and a commitment." Story 19. I got ghosted by someone who came back the second I stopped being available. We talked for 2 months and never met because there was always something. Her schedule, her anxiety, her dog, her roommate drama. I was patient. I kept showing up in messages, calls, voice notes. Then one day she left me on red and never responded again. 2 weeks later, I ran into her at a grocery store. She looked through me like I was invisible. Not awkward. Not guilty. Just blank. That was colder than any breakup text. After that, I promised myself I'd only invest in people who can show up in real life. I started saying yes to dates instead of pouring energy into almost. That's how I met Megan. First date, coffee. Second date, dinner. Third date, we went ice skating and laughed so hard we couldn't breathe. No disappearing. No excuses. Just real. I posted Megan once. Nothing flashy, just a selfie of us in beanies, cheeks red from the cold. My phone buzzed with a message request from the ghost. "Hey, I've been meaning to reply. Life got crazy," meaning to reply. 2 months later, I wrote back, "I'm seeing someone." She responded instantly, "Oh, so I guess I didn't matter." I almost laughed. She was the one who vanished. Now she wanted to be the victim. Then she tried, "I'm ready now. Can we talk?" And that's when I realized she didn't want me. She wanted the version of reality where I'm still waiting, where she can return whenever she's bored and I'll reward her with attention. I said, "No." One word. Then blocked her. Because no is a complete sentence, and it's the only one ghosts understand. Story 20. She ghosted me after I introduced her to my routine. Like she wanted access to my life but not responsibility for my feelings. We met at a gym cafe. She flirted, asked about my workout plan, asked what supplements I used, what time I usually trained. We started texting. She'd send "good luck today" messages, call me disciplined, say she liked how driven I was. Then I invited her to grab dinner. She said yes, even picked the place. The day of, she stopped replying. I waited. Nothing. She posted a selfie that night with the caption, "Unbothered." That caption told me everything. I stopped texting her. I tightened my focus. Work, training, and a new running group. That's where I met Holly. She was consistent in a way that felt almost suspicious at first. If she couldn't meet, she said it clearly. If she wanted to, she made time. No unbothered theatrics, just real. Holly and I started dating, and the peace of it shocked me. My head wasn't full of questions anymore. One morning, Holly posted a picture of our post-run coffees, my hand in the frame holding hers. 2 hours later, I got a DM from the ghost. "Wow, so you found someone else already?" I replied. "Yes," she wrote. "I didn't think you'd move on. I figured you'd keep trying." There it was. The entitlement. I sent one last message. "I don't chase people who treat me like a placeholder," then blocked her. Later, Holly said, "Who was that?" I told her, "Someone who only noticed me when I stopped being available." And the truth is, that's the only moment ghosts ever become real. When they realize you're not haunted anymore. Story 21. She ghosted me right after she asked for a real conversation. We'd been talking for weeks. She kept saying she hated games, hated flaky people, wanted something mature. Then one night she sent, "Can we talk about what we are? I don't want confusion." I thought, finally. An adult. I answered honestly, I liked her. I wanted to keep building. She replied with a heart and then disappeared. No good morning. No follow-up. Just silence so loud it made my chest tight. 3 days later, she posted a story laughing at a rooftop bar, captioned, "No stress." So the real conversation was basically her checking if I was hooked. I didn't argue with silence. I unfollowed, deleted the thread, and decided I wouldn't let someone audition me for a role they weren't even prepared to cast. A month later, I met Paige at a friend's New Year dinner. She was warm but direct. The kind of person who says what she means and doesn't decorate it with drama. We started seeing each other, and everything felt calmer, like my nervous system finally stopped bracing for a disappearance. Paige posted a picture of us cooking at my place, flour on my hoodie, her laughing mid-sentence. Within 20 minutes, my phone buzzed. The ghost. So you're just over me like that? I replied. You left. She wrote, I didn't leave. I needed to see if you were serious. I answered. Ghosting doesn't test seriousness. It tests how much disrespect someone will tolerate. Then she sent the line that proved my point. I didn't think you'd find someone better. I blocked her. Paige didn't ask me to. She didn't need a performance. She just deserved a partner who wasn't still negotiating with a person who vanished. Story 22. I got ghosted after she met my mom. Not an exaggeration. She asked to meet her. Said she wanted to see where I came from. My mom cooked. She complimented everything. Took photos with her. Even hugged her goodbye and said, I hope I see you soon. 2 days later, she stopped responding. At first I was angry. Then I was embarrassed. Because my mom was excited in that gentle way moms get when they think you found someone good. I didn't even know how to explain that the girl had disappeared without sounding like I was making excuses. So I didn't. I just told my mom, it didn't work out, and swallowed the rest. I threw myself into work and started going to a weekend art class to get out of my head. That's where I met Talia. She was quiet at first, but when she opened up, she was hilarious. Most importantly, she was consistent. If she cared, she showed it. She didn't treat connection like a trial run. A couple months later, Talia came to a small family dinner. My mom noticed immediately how respectful she was, helping clear plates without being asked, asking my mom questions instead of performing. After dinner, my mom posted a photo of all of us and captioned, so grateful. Guess who messaged me an hour later? The ghost. Oh, wow. You brought another girl around your family already? I replied. You ghosted after meeting my mom. She wrote, I got scared. It was moving too fast. I answered. Then you say that. You don't vanish. Then she tried to flip it. I didn't think you'd replace me that easily. Replace. Like she was a position I filled, not a person who chose to leave. I blocked her. Then I went back inside and sat with my mom and Talia. And for the first time, I didn't feel like I owed anyone an explanation. My life didn't need to make sense to someone who couldn't offer basic respect. Story 23. She ghosted me, then tried to come back through my friends. We'd had a short thing. 2 dates, lots of texting, and then silence. She didn't even unfollow me. She just stopped answering, like she'd turned off notifications for my existence. I moved on. I started dating Quinn, a woman I met at a coworker's networking event. She wasn't dramatic or cryptic. She was straightforward in the sexiest way. I like you. Let's do something Friday. No bait. No guessing. One night, my friends and I went out and Quinn came with me. Someone posted a group picture. I didn't think anything of it. The next morning, my best friend texts me. She just DM'd me asking about you. She didn't message me. She messaged my friend. Then another friend. Tell him I'm sorry. I've been thinking about him. Then another. Is he happy? Does he miss me? It felt gross. Not romantic, not flattering. Like she was trying to crowdsource access to me because she didn't want to risk rejection directly. I told my friend, don't respond, please. But he already had because he's too nice. And that opened the floodgates. Finally, she messaged me. I didn't want to bother you, but everyone says you're doing great. I replied, you could have just said you weren't interested months ago. She wrote, I was. I just didn't know what I wanted. I answered, and your solution was to disappear. Then she tried to poison the well. Quinn's not serious. She just likes attention. That's when my patience snapped. Not into anger, but into clarity. I said, you're trying to ruin something you never built. Then I blocked her. Later, Quinn asked calmly, do you want to talk about it? I told her, not really. I'm done giving importance to people who only show up when they see you're happy. And that was the truth. Ghosts don't come back because they love you. They come back because they hate that you stopped being available. Story 24. I got ghosted after I finally opened up about my insecurities. She'd been pushing for vulnerability. I want a man who communicates. I hate shallow connections. So one night I told her the real stuff. How I'd been cheated on before. How I sometimes overthink. How I was trying to do better. She replied, thank you for trusting me. And then she never texted again. It made me feel stupid for a while. Like I'd handed someone a soft part of me and they'd dropped it on the floor. I didn't send a why. I didn't beg. I just decided that anyone who runs when you're honest is not safe. I started therapy. Not as a dramatic comeback, just because I was tired of carrying the same weight. And in the process, I met Claire at a support group event a friend invited me to. Claire was warm but grounded. She didn't push for vulnerability like it was entertainment. She respected it. When Claire and I started dating, it wasn't fireworks. It was calm. And calm felt like a miracle. I posted a photo of us at a museum. Her pointing at a painting, me smiling at her like an idiot. The next day, I got a DM from the ghost. "Wow, guess you didn't need me after all," I replied. "You disappeared right after I opened up." She wrote, "I didn't know what to say. It was heavy," I answered. Then you say, "I'm not sure how to support you." You don't vanish. Then she hit me with, "Honestly, I thought you'd be more hurt. Like you cared." That line made me cold. Not because it hurt, but because it exposed her. She wanted impact. She wanted to feel powerful. So I blocked her. And I went back to Claire, who was texting me a picture of a dumb museum souvenir with the caption, "This is us." That's what I chose instead. Someone who stays. Story 25. She ghosted me after she said, "I'm not like other girls." That should have been my first warning. We talked for a month. She was charming, confident, always telling me how different she was. How she didn't do drama, didn't play games, didn't leave people confused. And then, of course, she left me confused. One day, she just stopped replying. No conflict. No reason. But she kept reacting to my stories. Little emojis, likes, views. Like she wanted to maintain a presence without having a conversation. I didn't call her out. I just removed her from my followers and moved on. Not long after, I met Ruby through a friend's gym group. Ruby was honest in a way that made life simpler. If she liked you, she said it. If something bothered her, she brought it up without theatrics. It felt mature. When Ruby and I became official, she posted a photo of us at a small outdoor market, her arm linked through mine. Within an hour, the ghost found a way back. This time from a new account. "Hey, you didn't have to cut me off," I replied. "You cut me off first." "You just did it quietly," she wrote. "I was just figuring things out," I answered, while keeping a window into my life. That's not figuring things out. That's keeping options. Then she tried to guilt me. "I thought you were nicer than this," I wrote. "Nice isn't the same as available." I blocked the new account too. Ruby asked later, "Everything okay?" I said, "Yeah. Just someone realizing too late that access to me isn't automatic." And for the first time, I meant it. Because the whole point of finding better isn't making them jealous. It's finally meeting someone who doesn't require you to suffer first. Story 26. She ghosted me after she asked me to prove I'm different. We'd been talking for weeks, and every time I tried to set up a date, she'd say, "Guys always disappoint me," or "I don't trust anyone." I kept thinking, if I'm patient, she'll feel safe. Then one night she sent, "If you actually care, prove it." I asked what she meant. She replied with a laughing emoji and said, "Figure it out." That was the moment I should have walked away, but I didn't. I sent a thoughtful message, reassured her, tried to be steady. She left it on read and disappeared for 10 days. 10. During those 10 days, she posted selfies, thirst traps, manifesting my dream life captions. So the silence wasn't depression or crisis. It was a power move. I stopped reaching out. I muted her. I started going to a climbing gym with a friend to distract myself. That's where I met Hannah. Chalk on her hands, messy ponytail, laughing at her own mistakes. She was confident without being cruel. She didn't ask for proof. She just showed up. Hannah and I started dating. And it felt normal in the best way. No riddles. No tests. No disappearing acts. One evening, I posted a simple photo. 2 helmets on a table, her hand in mine, captioned, "Sunday." Within minutes, my ghost popped up like she'd been watching my life on standby. "So you moved on." "Wow. Guess I didn't mean anything," I replied. "You vanished for 10 days?" She said, "I was protecting myself." I wrote, "Protecting yourself isn't punishing someone else." Then she dropped the real truth. "I didn't think you'd actually find someone better than me." I blocked her and went back to Hannah, who was teaching me how to tie a knot properly. The irony wasn't lost on me. The girl who demanded I prove it never proved anything herself. Story 27. I got ghosted after I paid for the whole weekend. She invited me on a short trip. 2 nights, nothing fancy. She picked the hotel, suggested restaurants, sent me links like it was a shared plan. I paid because I could, and because I thought we were building something. The first night was great. The second night she got distant, spent half the dinner on her phone, then said she was tired. The next morning she was gone. No note, no text, just gone. On the drive home, I saw she'd blocked me on everything. I felt sick, not because of the money, but because I'd been treated like an ATM with a heartbeat. For a week, I replayed every moment like I missed a clue. Then I realized the clue was her leaving without a word. I decided I was done financing mystery. I put my energy into myself, work, gym, and a cooking class my coworker swore would fix my life. That's where I met Natalie. She was funny and honest. And when she didn't like something, she said it directly instead of punishing you with silence. Natalie and I started dating. and I didn't pay for her affection. She actually argued with me about splitting the bill like it was a sport. When we posted our first picture together, just us holding plates we cooked, my ghost resurfaced from a new number. "Hey, can we talk? I've been thinking," I replied. "You disappeared on a trip," she said. I freaked out, I answered. "Then you say that. You don't block someone." Then she tried the soft guilt. "I didn't think you'd replace me that fast," I wrote. "You didn't leave a space to replace." Blocked. Because the only conversation she wanted was one where I forgave her and paid the bill again.